I'd had to sell my house because of my addiction, and I had spent like nearly $200,000 in my last 9 months of addiction on drugs and gambling. And I had like $18,000 left from my house sale, and that's what the rehab cost. And I was just like, all right, let's go. And I didn't even know I thought rehabs were just on movies, and I didn't know anything about abstinence or like any of this stuff or trauma. I just went in like, I'm broken. I need a break. I was in court for a domestic violence thing at the time, and I was just scared, and I was just like, someone help me. I need to hide. So I went to rehab, and oh my God. I did 6 rehabs in the end. Like I didn't get it the first time or the second time or the third time. And like 28-day programs, you know, I had 30 years of trauma that I needed to undo. It was like peeling an onion. It's like, I'm not going to do that in 28 days, you know? So the first time I came out of rehab, I was actually worse and more crazy than before I went in it because my trauma had been uncapped. So what actually happened for me when I went into, so I didn't talk about this fully before, but I had anorexia, and then that became bulimia, and then the drugs kind of took over from that. But I hadn't had an eating disorder in like 14 years. The day I walked in to my first rehab and they took my drugs and my alcohol away, my eating disorder came back within an hour. And then, you know, that passed after a week or so of being in there, and then I started self-harming again. And then that went, and then my OCD came back, and I was walking around and fixing all the clocks and straightening all the paintings and counting all the tiles and doing all this crazy stuff. So by the time I got out, all I'd done was relived all of my other coping mechanisms because I didn't want to access my trauma. So by the time I got out, I'd actually achieved absolutely nothing because I just kept trying to cope and trying to shut my brain down. So I came out super crazy. I call myself crazy now in like a really loving way.